Welcome back to Moonday Messages. I am excited for this week's energy because it is one of my favorite gates. But before we get into that, before we get into it, before we get into it, you know the deal. The signs that this video is for you. I'm going to show up on the screen right now. Hey, we have 222, we have 444, and then we have daffodils, which I haven't seen in so long because they don't grow here. So it's interesting that this is coming up. My hair is doing what it wants. And turtles. It's so interesting. I was asking God for a sign when I was in St. Lucia in November last year, and turtles came up for me in the most interesting way. Just as like I asked for a sign that I needed money, and I asked God for a sign that money is on the way, and I was thinking of sunflowers and turtles and 888 and 999. Like I always give myself like more signs to work with. And then I instantly saw 888 999 like instantly in like the first day. And then sunflowers were coming to me through emojis, like someone sending messages, and it was like sending sunflower emojis on top of that. And then the turtles showed up in the most magical, weird way. I met someone and we became friends. She's an absolute beautiful being. She showed me around St. Lucia, and it was such a divinely orchestrated meetup. And then the name of her Wi-Fi password was "Turtles Are Cool," which her son saved up in her phone. So like this is how turtles showed up for me. So I just want you to know that there are so many ways of how these signs find their ways to us. And you just need to be open for it, okay? Like you don't literally need to see physical turtles or a picture of turtles. Like it can be the word, right? In a fucking Wi-Fi password. So be open for it, okay? Okay, so these are the signs, and we're getting into the energy now. The sun moves into gate 8, which is the gate of contribution, which is in the throat center. Okay, so this is the most creative gate in the entire human design system. If you have that gate defined, you are very creative, and if you're not doing anything creative, this is your sign to get back into it, because I'm sure that you did when you were a child. And it is time for you to get back into that creative energy, because you're meant to. You're meant to work creatively, not necessarily making, money with it and it being your business. It can be, specifically if you have entrepreneurial energy in your human design as well, on top of the gate 8. But if you have that, then at least this should be like an outlet for you, okay? Working creatively, however that is, okay? So, but with the sun moving into this energy, all of us are tapping into this energy this week, right? And it is about our individual expression and sharing our unique gifts with the world, like sharing our unique ways of navigating life, handling things, our unique gifts, like one of my gifts is my expression with words, if it's written or if it's like, just talking. Others are using their throat and their expression through singing or through dancing or through painting or through sculpturing or whatever it is. There's so many ways that you can express yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it, okay? So what is important this week is that you align your personal expression with the greater good as well. Not just this week, but like this week will emphasize this energy and will push you towards doing that, okay? And through doing that, like using your personal expression and aligning it with the greater good, through you doing that, you will encourage others to do the same, because if you have been following along for a while, you know that we are being prepared for this big shift in 2027. And in order for us to be part of the new energy that this shift ushers in, we have to be the most authentic versions of ourselves. And how we do that is by expressing ourselves in the most authentic way. Okay, so this is like my entire mission, my entire work is around that energy, helping people to stepping into that, right? With these videos, with my readings, with my coaching, with my retreats, with me sharing how I share, you know, like it is important that we get on the energy of doing that now, that we step into our gifts, okay? Because being unapologetically and authentically you is what the world needs. It is what we need. It is what, like, it is part of what is necessary to usher in this shift, okay? What came through when I was channeling was specifically based on this energy. Like, the reason why it is so difficult for most of us to express ourselves authentically is because we are feared to be judged. We are feared to be judged by others. We are feared to be seen as too much or less than, or too loud or too opinionated, or, you know, like whatever it is. Like, there is a fear of judgment from others. What I want you to understand is that each and every judgment from others is a fragment of yourself being mirrored back to you. Life, the universe, God is mirroring back to you the fears that are attached to the wounds that are still active within yourself that need your attention. These are the wounds that are still active and need your love. These are the fears within you that are keeping you from being the version of yourself that you want to be in order to embody the version that you need to be and came here to be. Every judgment, positive or negative, is a fragment of yourself. It is a projection. It is just the mirroring of your energy coming back to you so that you realize that that is a part of you. So at the end of the day, when you are being judged by someone else, positively or negatively, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you believe in, because both the positive and the negative judgment is a fragment of you. Because when you hear someone judging you, and that is based on one of the biggest fears that you have inside and maybe have never even told anybody, it is coming back to you so that you start healing it. Every judgment that you receive is God, the universe, life showing you and pointing towards that wound that still needs love, that still needs healing. So it's actually a positive thing, even if it's a negative judgment, because it shows you what is in the way for you to stepping into the next version of you. So I want to dare you to even be open to receiving these judgments, because they will help you. Okay? Don't be afraid. And then the next thing that I heard was figure out what is blocking you. You have been doing so much work. I see it energetically that you watching this right now have been doing so much work, so much shadow work, so much like breaking generational trauma and cycles, and really sitting down and wanting to understand what is blocking you. But there's one block that just is so deeply ingrained with you, and it's difficult for you to pinpoint what it is. So I want to do an exercise with you right now, actually, to maybe get down to that a little bit. You might want to rewatch this video and do it at your own pace as well at a later point. But first of all, I just want you to have a moment of just breathing with me. Okay, close your eyes. Be comfortable where you are right now. Like, make some adjustments in the way you're sitting to feel more comfortable in your body right now, okay? And then I want you to breathe in for 4 seconds, and then we're holding it for 4, and then we're breathing out for 6. And we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to do this 3 times, okay? So we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and breathe out for 8, okay? Okay, and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold it, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out and relax. And now I want you to, with your eyes still closed, ask yourself, what is blocking me right now from achieving this? And then put in the blank, fill in the blank. What is blocking me from achieving this? And trust whatever is coming up that is the answer right now. What is blocking me from achieving this? And when you have an answer, you're just going to ask, why? Why is this blocking me? And you trust that what is coming up is what you need to hear right now. And then you're going to ask why that is. And then I want you to continuously ask why with each new answer that you get. You ask again why, at least 3 times, maybe even 4 or 5 times, to really get down to the depth and the root of what is really blocking you. And I want you to ask why, as long as it is necessary for you to get a bodily reaction or aha moment out of it. A bodily reaction might be goosebumps, it might be a sigh, it might be just a feeling of like, oh my God, that's it, or an aha moment, right? So you might want to pause this video to do this now because you're already in it. And I want you to get down to that root, like get down to it as deeply as possible until you get a point of like, oh my God, that's it. And this will indicate something to you already. Journal about it, breathe into it. And then I want you to reframe it by saying the exact opposite and using regulating, like a nervous system regulating tool while you do it, which might be tapping, like here, here, and then you're going through the tapping. Like you can Google it, I'm sure you'll find it. These are one of the tools that I use in my coaching with my clients. And there are other tools as well. Maybe you find something else, but I want you to reframe that fear, that why. Okay? This is one of the easiest way of getting down to things that are blocking you. Okay? Okay. With that being done, another thing that came through while I was channeling was, you are here for more. Pay attention to who and what leaves your life right now. It holds clue to your purpose. We are having right now at this moment where when I'm recording this video, we have one of the most important full moons of this year, the Scorpio full moon, which is one of the biggest ones that helps us to release big things. So I want you to pay attention as from now up until at least the next 2 to 3 months, I want you to pay attention of what is leaving your life and who is leaving your life. Because these people and these things that leave your life, maybe a job, maybe a home, if it's that big, maybe a friendship, maybe a pattern that you release, is holding clues to your purpose. It is clearing out the things that are in the way of you stepping into your purpose. And I want you to consciously be aware of these things happening, okay? These are exactly the things that I do with my clients in my coaching, right? Like we meet every week or every 2 or 3 weeks to like speak through the things, and I'm capable of like reading the patterns so easily energetically in people's lives right now that I'm able, oh, can you see that how this is connected to that fear or that thing that we are working through, right? There is a possibility obviously of you doing that self, but you have to be very aware and really on top of the things, okay? That's why I'm sharing this with you. I want you to get there, okay? And then something else came through. Pain is an extension of attachment. Pain is an extension of attachment. So I want you to understand what that really means. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are attached to always being understood by everybody. That would mean that every single misunderstanding is going to be painful. Every time someone misunderstands you, even if it was just because they couldn't phonetically hear what you were saying, that might actually give you like a moment of like, oh, uncomfort, discomfort, uncomfortable, I don't want to feel that way, this is giving me anxiety. Okay, so like it can be small things like that. And I want you to understand that every time that happens, first of all, I want you to understand that life is sending you these misunderstandings so that you realize that that is still something you need to work on, right? And I also want you to understand every time that that happens and your nervous system is being triggered and activated in that moment, you allow, just because you don't go down that road of healing that wound, you allow these situations to continuously show up in your life and lower your vibration in that moment. Okay? And 9 out of 10 times, life will send you bigger misunderstandings to make it even more uncomfortable and painful so that you realize that you need to do something about it. That's the only way life knows how to mirror things back to you, by making it more uncomfortable so that you finally say, I'm over this bullshit and I'm going to do something about it. Okay? So, in that scenario, you need to release the need of constant validation. Because when we go back to the understanding of that every judgment, including positive, so validation, is a fragment of yourself. So if you allow yourself to only listen to and believe the judgment that you give yourself, and I hopefully I urge you for them to be positive, then it doesn't matter what other people think. I know it's easier said than done. I'm not 100% there yet, but I can see how me starting to work on that, like now I'd say 5 years ago, brought me to a point of being able to like speak to the camera like this and not really giving a fuck what people think. That was so different, even just 2 years ago. Okay, now I'm stretching myself into stepping on stage more and becoming a public speaker, because that's what I really want to do, and that's what I feel like I'm here to do. So I'm stepping into the version of myself that already does that by stretching myself into doing these step by step, doing these things that this version would do. And yeah, we'll be judged by it, and sometimes maybe negatively. Like I get comments, YouTube comments here that are not nice. Just recently I had 2 comments and it literally cracked me up, because it was funny to me that people would take the time out of their day to write something that was just such weird, funny shit to say. But maybe 2 years ago I would have actually questioned myself and be like, oh, maybe they're right. Okay, so people will be people, right? It will happen. And sometimes, like in that case right now, it just showed me how far I've come and how I don't care what other people think. And then it doesn't have power over me anymore, and then it will not affect me. It will affect me more positively, because it will even urge me more to be like, now I'm going to show up even more authentically, even more to talk about, because at the end of the day, it's free engagement. You know? So it's just like I changed my narrative and my perspective around it, of how I perceive and receive it, right? And that's because I regularly regulate my nervous system and work on my shadows and my stuff and my fears and stretch myself, right? Okay, so let's see what the Oracle deck has to say to all of this, okay? What else is it that we need to know, Spirit? What else is it that the collective that I manifested to watch this video need to know? What is it that we need to know? What else is it that we need to know? Okay, what is it that we need to know? What is it that this collective needs to know? Is that it? Okay. Okay, so the first one is projector energy. This is one of the energy types of the human design system. And in this case, this is the validation, or this is the, the validation of the message of things being mirrored back to you, right? Just as much as you are mirroring out things to other people as well, just as much, giving other people the projections that they need to get, okay? But it is also, for some of you, the indicator of like stepping more into projector energy, because the projector in the human design system is a person that leads others. It is a person that guides others. It is a person that is capable of getting in tune with other people easily to help them navigate things, okay? So, and then we have the divine masculine, which is about stepping into your divine masculine, or you are too much in your masculine and you need to allow more feminine energy. But in this case, I believe it is more about stepping into the masculine to taking the steps necessary, because the next card, we have that for the third time in a row, last week and the video before, is bold, which is also very much the energy of like, you are called to take a leap of faith. You're ready to jump. You're ready to finally step into that thing you've been preparing for. And I just want you to like, for the ones that are weekly watching this videos, to see how that energy changed from last week. Last week, it was much more still about like allowing the feelings to come up, shaking it out when it's, you know, when it's too much, and doing the things that are necessary before you can take that action step. And now it really is about taking that action step. All of these three cards are really pointing towards stepping into that energy that you're meant to be stepping into. Okay, so it is very clear that it's time that this happens, specifically with that energy of the gate of contribution. You are meant to share your knowledge. You are meant to share your guidance. You are meant to share what you're here to do, right? So a lot of you are actually being asked to step into a person that is guiding others, and that might be in the position, in the position that you hold at the firm or the agency that you're already working. Maybe it is time to get a promotion. Maybe it's time to ask for a promotion, because last time we were actually having energy around needing to have a conversation that you need to have, and maybe that's a conversation that you need to have with your boss, because you are meant to step up, okay? And for others, it's to be the actual projector, which is usually more a role of a leadership role. But then also, I think some of you are actually being called to step into and working for yourself, okay? And we still have emotions are running high at the bottom of the deck, and then the next card is actually overthinking. So some of you are actually still questioning that path, and I know and I understand how that feels like. And maybe then this is actually the point where you need to ask for help. Do you need a coach to work with? Do you need a mentor to work with? Do you need to talk to someone in your life that you're friends with that has done what you want to do? Maybe that's the conversation that needs to be had. But it is important for you to acknowledge these feelings And don't step into that overthinking, but actually step into the action now. It is time to take, it is time for you to stretch yourself into the version that you need to become in order to embody that person that has the things that you're manifesting. No one's going to do it for you, baby. You have to do it yourself. Okay? It's a very clear message once again. And I want you to understand that it's time. Okay? It's time for you to receive, and you will receive the guidance necessary and the puzzle pieces necessary in order to see that it's time too. This is not going to be the only video here or puzzle piece that you will get to know that it's time. Okay? Maybe your boss will actually reach out to you. Maybe that person that you need to talk to will actually reach out to you. And if not, then it's on you to do it. Okay? You got this. I love you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you see the signs. Come back to this video and share it with me. I would appreciate a like, a comment, a subscription. Please send it to your family and friends and help grow the channel. And I see you next week. Thank you for being here with me.